Hello, friend. Thank you for tuning in again today. We're so glad to be able to come your way with these short devotions. We are looking at Hebrews chapter number 11, verses 8 through 19. We are looking at the subject of I will obey. And again, verse 8 says that by faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed. And he simply obeyed. And we are looking at that thought, I will obey. Now, last time we saw the commencement of Abraham's obedience, the fact that the Lord called him and he responded to what the Lord said. Now, I want us to look at the commitment of Abraham's obedience. Now, make no mistake about this. If you and I are to obey the Lord, there's going to have to be a strong sense of commitment on our part to do so. And we find that to be the case in Abraham's life. Now, Abraham's commitment to obedience can be measured through the scope of title. Now, listen to some of the titles that are given to Abraham. In verse number 9, we read, by faith he sojourned in the land of promise as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. Now verse number 13. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. Abraham's commitment can be measured through the scope of his title, dear friend. And if you're wanting to fit in with this world, I'm going to tell you, obedience to the Lord is not going to be a characteristic of your life. If you're wanting to fit into this world is dead set against God, and everything that God says to be right, the world says is wrong, and everything that God says to be wrong, the world says is right, dear friend. And there's nothing that's going to change their mind other than being saved. And so Abraham finds himself in this category, in this world. He was just a stranger and a pilgrim. Now, you and I would say this. He just didn't fit in, dear friend. He didn't fit in with those around him. There was something different about Abraham. He wanted to obey the Lord, and he wanted to follow the Lord again. He didn't always get it done. He didn't always do everything that was right, but I want to tell you, he had a desire to do that. And so the Bible says here that he was known as a stranger. He was known as a stranger. You know, as I've thought about it through the years, I've come to this conclusion that there are some people in this world, I hope they think I'm strange. If they think themselves to be normal, I want to be strange, dear friend. I want to be different from that. I want to be what the Lord would have me to be. And sometimes the commitment of our obedience is going to be seen in our title. So what if they call us peculiar? So what if they call us holy rollers or religious fanatics or whatever it is they're going to call us? I just hope what they're saying is true of me. I hope that I am somewhat a fanatic for Jesus, and I hope that I am peculiar, dear friend. As I said, I want to be known by that, and Abraham was known for that. But not only do you see that his commitment of obedience can be measured through the scope of the title, but it also could be measured through the space of time as well. In verse 13, we see this, that these all died, not having received the promise, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to return. But now they desire a better country, that is, a heavenly country, a heavenly, where God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he hath prepared for them a city. You see the scope of time. You know, we read those verses very quickly, but I hope you understand that this was a long experience for Abraham. This is a long life that he lived in following the Lord. And it's seen in the scope of time. You and I are going to leave a testimony in this world. And we're going to leave this testimony, dear friend, by the scope of our life, the life that we've lived, and the consistency that we've lived this life with. Abraham did so because he simply decided that he would obey. I hope you're living your life in obedience to the Lord. If not, maybe today you need to turn to the Lord and confess to Him and say again, I will obey. Hope you'll think about this. Till the next time, may God